Right, hi everyone. It's Chris 2E0 UKH, and I've got a special guest on today. This is Oscar. Do you want to introduce yourself, Oscar?
Yeah, hello Chris, thanks very much. Oscar M7 OJA here. You may have seen me on Freestar. You may have seen me running my M7 net on a Sunday. So just here to talk a little bit more about that and how to access.
Yeah, so we've got Oscar on. He's only 17 years old. He's got his you're an M7. Is it M7 OJA?
Yeah.
So he's a newly licensed ham, and he's doing his own net on the Freestar network. So we were going to talk about how people can how people can get on the Freestar network, and Now you go live on a Sunday, every Sunday at 1 o'clock in the UK, 1300. Is it UTC? You said earlier.
UTC,
yeah. So. Do you want to just tell us what you do on that net, and then we'll show the ways to connect?
Yeah, so we encourage any stations to call into the M7 net. It isn't just for M7s, but the idea we created the net as a place where people can, try out their new license, their new call sign. Maybe they haven't got HF equipment. I know when I first started in the hobby, I didn't have an HF radio, and it took me a while to get a 2-meter radio. The only thing I had was Echolink, and I used to love calling into all the nets and the different talk rooms on there. So it's definitely a way that people can connect when they've first got their license. We might be the first person they speak to, and it gives them a place to come and connect. So we run down the list with emphasis on M7s, and then other stations can call in as well to support them and answer any questions that they might have. And
is it UK only? Is it UK only?
It's we have international as well.
So if you're a newly licensed ham in America or any other country, you can call into it.
Yeah, we've had people call in from Canada, newly licensed stations in Canada previously.
Absolutely brilliant.
And we've had a Finland station as well call us. We usually have a scheduled connection up to the Canada hub during the net as well. So we do have lots of connections international during our net.
And when the net goes live on Sunday at 1 o'clock, 1300 UTC, what the guys in the background do, they make loads of connections, don't they? So it's on Freestar, but Freestar becomes connected to loads of other networks all around the world. They pull a few switches, and it's connected to even more places, isn't it?
Yeah, quite a lot of our connections are automatic now. We have a good connection up to the Canada hub. We have the Israel DMR bridge. We have a German connection, and we have lots of simplex gateways and repeaters across the country. And we're constantly bringing new connections in and new methods to access the system. But a lot of that is automatic now. So about 15 minutes before the net goes live and about half an hour after the net, we have the ability to automatically connect up the stations, and so that the net instantly becomes 3 times bigger as soon as we go live.
Can you see the bit I'm sharing? Can you see how to access Freestar? Is that showing your end?
Yeah, so we've got several methods to connect. The easiest one for newly licensed stations is probably Echolink. You can access that just using a mobile phone app. You can register probably the same day that you get your license. If you have an all-star node, like a G7 RPG node, you can access using all-star. We have a couple of public nodes, and repeaters can also connect to it. If you have DMR, there's several DMR systems that you can connect to. Brandmeister is probably our latest one, and that's probably our biggest reach. You can also connect to TGIF Prime, free DMR. So there's all different ways to connect up to the system. If you have a Yaesu radio, you can connect to our Freestar multi fusion reflector and D-Star as well. So there's
so you can actually see it on the screen your end, can you, Oscar? What I'm sharing here, because there's no indication that that's sharing. So
that's working my end.
Excellent. So that's all the different ways to connect, and there is a Facebook group as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got 2. We have Freestar International and Freestar UK on Facebook. You can also search 2E0 FWV, 2 Echo 0 Foxtrot Whiskey Victor on QRZ. and all the information's on there of how to connect, and all the Facebook groups as well.
Okay, and we've also got here a list of all the other nets going on. I'll just bring that up on the screen. Can you see that? Is that coming up okay?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, so we've got a good amount of nets on Freestar. Probably the biggest net we connect to at the moment is the Trans Canada net. You know, there's over 100 check-ins on that net usually, so it's very big. Our best net at the moment, and the one that we put most of our effort into, is the Top Talk net. Absolutely brilliant. That was our legacy net, run by Oscar, Oscar 2 Echo 1 Hotel Whiskey Echo. That was our first net, and that's always gone really well. Every week we get a special guest on for that. Last week was Pete from Essex Ham, talking about the new license changes that have been proposed. So that's brilliant. On there's the M7 net that I run, 1 hour at 1300 UTC. We connect up the worldwide RagTube Tech net, and we also have a Wednesday night net at 1930 UTC as well. So quite a lot of nets that you can get involved with. Just a reminder though, Freestar is available 24 hours a day when we have connections worldwide, 24 hours a day. Even when there's not nets running, you can still call in for a quick QSO.
Did you see the net I did, the worldwide digital analog ham net?
Yeah, your net's new, isn't it? Maybe talk a little
fairly
bit about,
new. It's twice.
Your...
It's every 2 weeks at the moment, just to get, you know, while people are in lockdown, just to get people on the radio.
Yeah, and it went well last time. How many check-ins did you have last time?
Well, it was about 50. It was about 50. It was very. It's the system that's good. It's the system that's good because it opens up all the connections.
Yeah, and definitely gives people a good way to connect in, especially with the Echolink. You know, you can connect in with no equipment, or you can connect in with a very advanced setup. There's tons of ways into the system. We've also got our new net with G3YPQ as well, that's recently started too on a Thursday.
Is that Phil? Is that Phil?
Yeah.
That's Phil. So yeah. Phil does he does the rubber duck antennas, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
I'm just trying to find one. They're called rubberscopics, and you know, this is the ASU FT70, and that is a rubber duck type aerial. But it's when that is down, that is on. That's a U8. That's UHF when it's down.
Yep.
And when it's a telescopic as well. And when it's fully up, it's not the largest of telescopics, so it's quite pocketable. And when that's up, that's perfectly tuned for 2 meters. And it's also even more powerful on UHF, isn't it? Is it something like a 5/8 wave? It's something like that. Anyway, that's Phil. He's doing the what's his net called?
I think we just have it down as the G3RPQ net. Radioactivity is the net name.
Okay, right.
We've had a couple of proposed net names for that, but yeah, we stuck with the radioactivity net. Yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything we've missed out?
Yeah, just to welcome everybody to the system, and please do come on. And you know, I'm usually always monitoring, so is other Oscar, Bruce, Shane. There's always someone there. Just call in. You can search 2E0 FWV-L on Echolink. Connect up, have a listen on your phone. There's so many ways to get in, and you know, there's always someone talking. There's somebody on there now, I can see. My node's lit up, so yeah, just listen on, and hopefully you can join us for the net, and would welcome you on regardless of license class. So it'd be nice to hear
and on Sunday, when you do the net on Sunday, you know, now a lot of people are not going to clubs because they're all shut. You know, a lot of people are wanting to make their first ever ham radio call, aren't they? So
yeah, you know, we've had people before that was their first ever QSO. They've never made a QSO before, and they called into Top Talk, and that was the first person they were. So it's brilliant that we are.
That's what I was suggesting. That's what I was suggesting. If anyone is nervous about making their first call, you know, consider making it on the newly licensed net. You know, you'd have so much support.
Yeah, and you know, if you make a mistake during that, then it doesn't matter. You know, the newly licensed nets,
Exactly.
the people that we're accepting regardless of how long you've been on the radio. You know, if you're a little bit mic shy, just come on and call in. You know, we've got the tech team running. We've got I always have all the dashboards up. So the worst thing that could happen is, you know, you might connect up and feel a bit mic shy, but honestly, it's fine. I felt that way when I first got my license. Especially,
Yeah.
I was 16 when I passed my call sign. I hadn't been to a club due to the lockdown, and I didn't know anybody in the hobby. I was terrified to get on, but my first QSO was somebody in Australia on Echolink, and once I had that QSO, then I felt a lot more, you know, happy to call out and call CQ. So, and that's now led to over 3,000 contacts in the log. So it's definitely
Yeah.
a good way into the hobby, especially using Echolink and digital mods.
Yeah, so before you go, because I don't want this to be too long, but I remember you told me in it a funny, not funny, but interesting story, why your favourite mode is FT8.
Yeah, so people always complain about FT8 in the hobby. Some people say it's not real radio. Some people say it's text messaging. But I've always found FT8 really good. And yeah, it doesn't replace sideband. There's definitely a place for both in the hobby. But I have an antenna across my roof. I haven't got any room to put up a dipole or a beam or anything like that. So what I done was I found some speaker cable in the loft. So I cut it to about 20.5 meters. And I attached it to a little rubber ball, and I chucked the rubber ball over the roof, and
I
the
think we've all
wires.
done that, yeah.
Yeah, the wires running up my roof and touching it. So when it rains, you know, the wet roof is touching the antenna, and I thought, well, that can't work. I plugged it in into a 9-to-1 balun, and the second I connected it up, I had a QSO into Brazil.
That's brilliant. I mean, that's the only way you can do HF as well, isn't it? That's the
Yeah,
only way you can do HF. It's not strong enough to make voice contacts, so at least you're taking part and having a go. You know, when we're allowed out, you can go out and do HF. You know, from a park or something. You know, parks on the air and things like that.
Yeah, I do quite a lot of portable work, flora, fauna, summits on the air, that kind of thing. You know,
Yeah,
portable, especially portable VHF contesting is my other area of the hobby I'm interested in. That's my area in the hobby. But yeah, it gets me on HF. I can switch it on. You know, I've got an S9 noise sometimes on 40 meters. I can't make a voice contact, but I can still switch it on and make a few QSOs into Germany and France and
brilliant.
Spain on 40
Have you
meters.
done
So it's
any
brilliant.
2-meter SSB yet?
Yeah, I do. I do lots
Yeah,
of
that's a lot
2 meters.
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favourite mode. I do the monthly UKAC contesting, and I'm the current chairman of the 807 amateur radio club, which is currently
Is
the
that
leading club
the
in the.
first Tuesday in the month? Is it that
Yeah,
one?
that one. Yeah, and I run currently run one of the clubs that take part in the contests. So it's a lot of fun to get involved in, and yeah, I've recently took over the club, sort of the managerial side of it, from a slightly older ham who's now retired
Yeah.
from the club, and it's been great so far. You know, getting out. I mean, we can't get out portable at the moment, but all the support that we've had there, that's definitely another thing to get involved with and try in the hobby is
You're doing
2-meter
really
contest.
well. Doing really well. You know, you're 17 years old. You're trying everything possible. You're running nets, and you've only been into it 6 months.
Yeah, you've got to try these things, and I've been really lucky to have a few local hams near me, who's been able to invite me down, and you know they gave me my first experience on HF. They introduced me to contesting, and if they didn't do that, then I don't know where I'd be in the hobby. So it's definitely
Yeah,
the support of others that gets people involved in the hobby. So I think
exactly.
what we're doing is definitely working.
I always remember someone showed me a demo. They did a demo. They set up a dipole. You know, when you're starting over here, we've only got 10 watts. You know, and you think you're not going to get abroad on HF. It's not worth buying a HF transceiver. But someone came along. They set up a simple dipole. They threw up a telescopic pole. You know, put the little dipole up on that, and you know, we were working all around Europe and Russia. you know, just on 10 watts. It was quite easy, actually. You know, it's quite an eye opener.
Yeah, it is, and every contact you make, it surprises me. I mean, just the other day, there wasn't much noise on 40 meters. I called in, and I think it was about 11:30 at night, and I went on 40 meters, and I worked Serbia 5 and 9 both ways. And you know, I've worked Australia before, and Brazil and things. So Serbia is not too far, but each contact I have surprises me. I just think, you know, I've got a thin piece of wire going over the roof. 10 watts is such a small amount of power, and I'm chucking out a signal all the way over to there. And especially that's the other reason I like FT8. You can see the PSK reporter map of who's heard you. And it's always fun to see, you know, 400, 500 stations reporting your signal across the world. It's remarkable, really, just from a small transceiver with 10 watts.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, right. Well, thanks for joining us. I'll be tuning into your net on Sundays, and I'll pop in and say hello in the future.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. Nice to have a meeting with you, and just welcome to Freestar, and hope to hear you on during the Sunday net. So
yeah, I'll be doing that. I'll be joining in. Anyway, thanks for arranging the Zoom, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Nice to speak to you.
Okay, cheers, mate.